Hello and welcome to the first part of Create Your Heart's Desire. This again is a program of called personal growth. I would say it manifesting or actualizing your heart's desire, something specific that is dearest to your heart that you right now want to realize in your life, want to experience. And that is the most important, most meaningful thing that you can think of. And here we're going to go through how to find that. And we're going to actually find it and find how to build belief and gradually emotion into that desire so that you actually feel it, not just have an intellectual idea about, I would really love this. So everything here is made to build belief into that the idea that you can do it, that you already have what you want to have. That is the idea here. We're trying to use the idea that inner reality manifests on the outside as experience. And so we try to build belief into your idea, whatever it is that you want to actualize. That is the idea here behind. It's probably not it is a philosophy, but it's not, I will not go into the details of that philosophy. So I'll just say that's sort of the basis. That is what we take for granted as an assumption. And we build on that in this program. The idea that whatever goes on the inside of you will manifest outside on the outside somehow into some experience in your life. So let's get started. If this sounds like something you want to take part of, I'll first say there is 4 parts to this program. The first one is thought here, where we build belief. Then we have emotions, where we talk more directly to actually enhancing and creating feeling, the feeling state of your heart's desire already actualized. And then we have the action part. How do you know you really believe something? Well, you act upon it, you act from it, you act as though it's true. And that will enhance the whole process. And as we then start to act from that position and act on that, the idea is that the universe will then respond to that action. And therefore you'll start to attract whatever you need in order to actualize this experience of your heart's desire. And so that's the 4 parts that we're going to look into. And while you could say, well, all I need is really to believe it. But here we go into sort of dissect the different steps of it and make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible and that we work together with this process, all of it. And so I suggest that you listen to each part carefully and many times and every day, not the whole part necessarily, but listen to a part of this every day while you go for a walk, while you sit in the car, or while you sit and just listen to it at night or in the morning before getting out into your day or before going to bed. Find some time where you listen to it every day. And that will get you using, let's say, all the steps and thoughts. You keep listening to it, you're going to start automatically and subconsciously to think from the position and the understanding and the principles laid out in this program. And as you start to make that habit, then you can move on to part 2, which is the emotions. And then we expand upon what we learned in part 1. And then when that's habit, you learn to act as though it's already a truth and you act on your inspiration. And then when that becomes habit, then you have all the 3 points that is really within your direct control, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. And then we start to actually go into this deeper immersion of actually matching our outer circumstances with this, with your heart's desire, which means that we go into some deep visualization, which means that we try to make our surroundings reflect to us this idea that we want to, of something we want to create in our lives, so that we are supported in our endeavor by our circumstances. So it's stuff like that that we will be doing. And so hopefully, if you take your time, take a few weeks or a few months with each part and listening to only that every day, that it will then be a smooth, nice process, and that you'll actually succeed with this. So best of luck. And this is something I have found from based on 15, 16 years of researching into this metaphysical topic of actualization, manifestation, and I've contemplated and I've practiced it, and I've practiced it with clients. And, this is what I've come sort of as my solution in terms of manifesting, making it as direct and as usable, applicable as possible. So let's get started. The first thing I think is really important, is to actually like the process, like the idea of having a singular goal and giving your energy to it. There are other ways, other philosophies that you could use that can create a meaningful life, or be part of creating a meaningful life. This is one that I have been taught and that I like. And so the idea is that, Neville Goddard said, once you set your heart on a desire, you say, this is mine now, right? You make a decision. I want this. This is mine. You start to yourself upon a journey from where you are towards where you want to go, a physical journey. And it's also an emotional journey where you move from however you feel around whatever topic is at hand. Let's say it's a financial topic, right? You want to earn more money. Then you start an emotional journey around how you feel about money until you feel that what you desire is yours now. But it's also a physical journey. And that could be compared to a fairy tale, really. You see, when we work on the idea that what goes on the inside will manifest on the outside, and you say, now I start to think about this thing that I really desire, and I think about it as already mine. Well, if there's something inside of you that is not matching that, you have beliefs, you have character traits, habits, whatever, that goes cross a purpose to your heart's desire, then you'll find that mismatch and those challenges showing up in your life, in your emotions. You'll meet it inside and outside. And we could call it that your dragons in your fairy tale, right? But you're also gonna start into the unknown. You're gonna start to do things a little differently. And you're gonna find some different thoughts, some different inspirations. You're gonna take upon this quest, and you're gonna meet different people and get new ideas and meet the dragons. And in overcoming these dragons, you build the character, you become the kind of person that is in the state of being that you need to be in order to create what you want, to be a vibrational match, to be an energetic or emotional match to the reality that you want. And so you see, as you hold your focus upon your heart's desire on a daily basis, then instead of these adverse conditions being traumatic, will then be something that builds you up and pushes you together to become what you need to become in order to create it. And it will be, if your heart's desire, if what you choose as your goal is really your heart's desire, is really coming from inside, then what you will become in order to create it will become a nicer person, will become more authentically you. So the price you must pay is to really be more yourself. That is a pretty wonderful thing. I think Bob Proctor, who talked a lot about goal setting, he said, life should be a magnificent adventure. And I think what he meant, I'm pretty sure that what he meant with it was that once you set a goal, then you will step into the unknown. If it's a different goal, if it's beyond where you are now, if it's something that's really exciting to you, really meaningful, really wonderful, and that will set you upon this journey, and your life will become this journey of adventure, of experience. And so you might say, well, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And that might be absolutely true. We should live in the now and live in the moment. However, if you have a goal in your horizon that you're working towards, that you're thinking towards, that will sort of define the journey or give a different journey than if you had not had that goal. And therefore, it is interlinked, and it's can create a different kind of adventure when you have a goal, when you have a meaningful goal, a powerful goal, a exciting goal for you. It doesn't have to make sense to everyone else, but it has to make sense and be meaningful for you. And so I think we really want to fall in love in this way of living if we really want this process to work. We can't be like, oh yeah, I set this goal, I'm manifesting these things, but you don't really commit to that type of living and seeing yourself as one who does this, then you might stop at the first obstacle. So actually loving this process, understanding how it works, and seeing sort of the heroics on being on this quest, being on this adventure, finding more strength in you, finding more ethical power, and getting to know yourself, how to work, who you really are, learning things about yourself and the world, and becoming more yourself as a result of this goal is a really meaningful way of living. And it's really a wonderful thing. It's not just only that you just want life to be as easy as possible at all times. You want to face life with this goal setter attitude and knowing how meaningful it is, knowing that it's a wonderful quest, knowing that it is a magnificent adventure, and that it is leading you towards something more authentic, more joyful, more meaningful, and you'll be able to be a greater contribution to the rest of the world through realizing your goal and through the person you become in the process. And that is always the real sort of achievement or the real goal behind the goal. It is who you become as a result, as a consequence of actualizing this desire, because you have to become a vibrational match to it. You cannot just manifest it but stay the same person. You will change. As Bob Proctor often quoted, I don't know who said it, if you want to change your life, you got to change your life. And I would say you got to change you. That's it. So if you really like this idea of setting a goal and seeing it as yours now, and actually moving toward it, living the adventurous journey, the hero's journey, and you think, wow, that sounds like something I would like to do, then this program could be something for you. And I would like us right now to sort of envision ourselves as that person using these affirmations. So follow along with me right now. I am a goal setter. I am the hero of my story. I am a goal setter. I am a wonder. My life is a magnificent adventure. I am a goal setter. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. Or you could say more and more me. I am a goal setter, and life is meaningful, and I step into the unknown. I am a goal setter and a goal achiever, and I live the hero's journey. I am a goal setter, and I grow every day. I am a goal setter, and life is exciting and fun and meaningful. I am a goal setter, and I pave ways that will benefit me and everyone else. I am a goal setter, and I love my life. I am a goal setter. That's it. Perfect. So that was the sort of seeing ourselves as this goal setter, willingly going on this quest. I'll now find a little quote from being a goal setter. It's actually about visualization, but it's the same thing. You hold on to an ideal, to an image of what you desire, and you let the law of attraction attract different actions from you and different circumstances, and you're going to go through the process of creating it. And here is a great description of some of the many benefits from doing that. It's from Jennifer B. Rand, and I'm just going to go ahead and find the quote. It's called Order of Visualization. Hang with me. All right, I'm going to read it too. Order of Visualization, Chapter 1. The exercise of the visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order and attracts to you the things you need to make life more enjoyable and in an orderly way. If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire and carefully examining it, you'll soon find your thought and desires come and proceed in a more orderly procession than ever before. Having reached the state of ordered mentality, you're no longer in a constant state of mental hurry. Hurry is fear and consequently destructive. In other words, when your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will, it attracts to you all things requisite to the fulfillment of that picture by the harmonious vibrations of the law of attraction. You realize that since order is heaven's first law and visualization places things in their natural order, then it must be a heavenly thing to visualize. Everyone visualizes, whether they know it or not. Visualization is the great secret of success. The conscious use of this great power attracts to you multiplied resources, intensifies your wisdom, and enables you to make use of advantages which you formerly failed to recognize. So, again, as you listen to this part over and over again, or the whole part here, you're going to get a deeper and deeper understanding about all the benefits of visualization that Genevieve B. Rand points out here. I'm going to just give a few highlights, say your thoughts and I think your life in general will become more orderly because you're going to keep going in the same direction. The obstacles you meet going to be related to your goal, and the successes you meet going to be related to your goal. And so they're going to be an order, a continual orderly sequence in your life. It's not going to be all over the place as much. And you're going to start to see that the longer you get into this, which will of course sort of be a little bit opposite to fear. And you say it's going to be orderly. You're no longer going to be in a state of hurry. Hurry is fear and consequently destructive. So there will be less fear in your life because you will not be in such a state of hurry. There'll be a rhythm, a sort of sequence. I start here and then I go here and then I go here, and it'll take you where you want. You understand you'll get there sooner or later. So you take your time and you live in the present, you live in the moment. And then we have the point that it gives you whatever you need to make life more enjoyable and in an orderly way. Of course, this comes from envisioning your heart's desire, but it's also something beyond that you will challenge yourself in a way that you need, and you'll get into this orderly sequence, and it'll be a nice flow, a nice rhythm to live in. And therefore, you will live in harmony with you and the way you're really supposed to be. And you'll be, as they say, in a heavenly state because You're living this orderly sequence, and you're in alignment with the universe by working the way I think you're supposed to work. By actually deciding this is what I want to do. I don't just look outside with my senses and say, okay, oh, the economy is getting worse. Well, then the economy is probably getting worse, and you expect it to get worse, right? Instead of creating your own visions and moving in your own direction with purpose, that is also, of course, in alignment with the betterment of everyone else, whether it is directly apparent or not. So those are some of the benefits, and the rest I think we've discussed in the metaphor about adventure, or you can consider them and contemplate them yourself. Because I want you to really fall in love with this way of living in order to do it effectively and do it wholeheartedly. And I think it was Confucius who said, at least I've heard him quoted for saying this. He said, wherever you go with all of your heart, right? So if you do this at all, then do it fully. And one of the things that makes you do it fully and makes you be persistent toward your desire is that you choose your heart's desire. It's got to be something that's meaningful to you. As my Proctor said, persistence and desire is as the chicken is with the egg. You see, the more persistent you are, the more desire you will have. But the more you naturally want it, and it's your true heart's desire, the more you're going to be persistent. So it works together as the chicken with the egg. It fuels each other. Persistence creates stronger desires, and strong desires creates persistence. But you got to have the state of mind that, if I continue, I understand that there is a lawful process going on here. If I stay tuned into my heart's desire, I know it will happen. It's not a matter of whether it will happen. It will happen with mathematical precision sooner or later, if I but persist in this orderly sequence of creating. If I keep up with the program, you could say. And so I think that it's very important to learn to be persistent. And as Bob Proctor pointed out, then you'll know deep inside that you will get there because you know you will persist. You have this deep knowing, I will get there sooner or later. It might have gone slower than you wanted. It might not. Maybe it went really fast. But you know you'll get there regardless. Because you know you'll persist. And so I think that's really important. And it's something that you can instill in yourself and say, I will. I've decided to continue until I get there. It's not a matter of I'll try and I'll see and then nothing happens and then I'll stop. That's not your heart's desire. Then it's got to be something that is so meaningful that even if you didn't achieve it, you would still find it a meaningful journey. Like, as I often mention to my clients, I would rather fail at something that I love than succeed at something that I hate. So you got to find out, who are you? What are you bringing to the table? What is your heart's desire here? And then good things will come. And as in all fairy tales, not only will your heart's desire come to you, but you will get half the kingdom, which I take metaphorically to represent all the other smaller or lesser desires that you hold to. They will start to come to you also as a consequence of having brought this one big desire into your life. If it is well chosen, if it is actually your heart's desire. So I think it was Ellen Nightingale as well who said that persistence is faith, because if you didn't have faith, you would never persist. So that's why I'm really being so stubborn about telling about these things. You got to understand how this process works, or have some idea about liking the process and knowing how it works, and that you can attract things by thinking about them, by gaining this inner state of mind that is a reflection, that is a match to your heart's desire. then it will attract to you. And therefore, as long as you move in the direction of the state of being, you will move in the direction of your heart's desire. And that is a meaningful process. And as you really understand that, then you will want to persist. Then you'll know all you got to do is persist, really. And hopefully this program will make it so that it will not only be all you need to do is persist, but it will be a rather smoother course, rather smoother road than it would possibly otherwise have been, so that it's as easy for you as possible. That's my hope, because I sort of made this program as for what I would have liked to have had when I began this journey of manifesting things in my life. So, if you're still with me, let's get into the thick of this. Let's get into actualizing our heart's desire. But before we can do that, as I just said, the most important essentially is knowing what it is and choosing a right one. And one of the principles here is that